Yeah, there's just what is this, can call it whatever, a moment, timelessness, boundless energy. And this as it is, it can never really be described because it's not a thing. It can never really be pointed at because it's nothing being everything already. So this what is can never be reached by efforts because this what is already effortless and obvious to itself. Here, there is no past, there is no future, there is no present even. Yet, what seems to be the past, present, and the future, it's what seems to appear in this. It's just an appearance. There's no real past, there's no real future, there's no real present. All those are just concepts appearing in this timelessness. And this isn't going anywhere already. Yet there may be thoughts appearing in this saying, this must be going some way. If it seems as if this, what is, this which is already timeless, everywhere present is nothing. If it seems as if it's going somewhere, there's something to get, there's an achievement to be made that's imaginary. There's nowhere to get to, there's nothing to find, and there's nobody to find anything. It's just an imagination which already there is no one who's doing it. It's just what appears in this, an imagination appearing in this as this. Because even the imagination itself is not separate from this, the totality. It's just also the totality expressing as what seems to be the imagination. So the me is a fallacy. There is already no me to find anything already. In the story, it may seem as if there is a real me who's looking, who's searching, who's reading books, going to the mountains, to the cave, meditating, couple of hours. But that as it is, it's just a story which appears in this totality, which isn't going anywhere already. That which is not a thing that can be pointed at, that which is timeless, timelessly present as every apparent thing. yet it's nothing. So the one who's looking for this is already this. The one who's getting closer, the one who seems to be there, the one who has lost it is already this. And what is this? It's nothing. It's nothing. Yet in this, there might be what seems to be the mind looking, searching, trying to find this. But that's as it is. It's just this expressing as what seems to be the mind. There is no real separate mind to find anything or to collapse or to fall away. It's just this already, this, which is nothing. So there's no yesterday, there's no today, there's no tomorrow, there's no morning, there's no afternoon, there's no evening. There's just this. And this isn't moving already. It can never be gotten. There can be a resonance that seems to be happening, something resonating with what is being spoken. And then there can be a recognition that all there is just this, as there's never been anyone looking for enlightenment. There's never been anyone who's on the journey to find nothing. There's just simply nothing looking for nothing, and there's nothing to be found. All there is just this. So in this, there can be so many different stories happening. The stories of somebody who's working somewhere, who grew up in a certain location, then passed on, meets someone, meeting relatives, and then the story may seem to continue. But it's just a story. It's still just a story. But what is this boundlessness, boundless aliveness is not a story. Yet it appears as different stories. Even stories that seem to be subtle, they are still stories. Souls in heaven, going up and down, flying, singing, feeling bliss, joy, happiness. It is a story. It's okay. There's nothing wrong or right. It's just what seems to be happening.
Ricky's back. He seems to be having a psychotic episode today. It's just what seems
What's
to be
that?
happening. Ricky, remember Ricky?
Yeah, I do remember Ricky.
Yeah. He's walking around with his pants falling down, screaming at cars.
Oh, shame.
Yeah.
Uh, is he okay?
He does not look okay.
Yeah.
Here's the police, so. Oh, they're going a different direction.
So he is walking down the pavement. Is not like crossing the streets or something.
Yeah, he was staying out of the street. Usually he's right underneath me, but he was on the other side of the street today. He was hanging out in front of my door before I got here, so I had to kind of wait for him. Just, that's us over there too, you know?
Yes, yes. This is already heaven. And what seems to be individuals, it may happen that uh, there is thinking that we are not yet there, but we're already there already. Even when there is somebody who thinks is separate from God, there's not an evidence that there is real separation. It's just thoughts appearing in this. There's no separation. No one has ever been separate from God because everyone is God already. God playing as a you, as somebody walking there. There's just already unity of all things. What seems to be other people is already that which is not separate, appearing as other people, appearing as things, objects, movement. It's already timelessness, that which is timeless, expressing as that already. Yet it's okay to, if something seems to be coming up that is trying to help, it's okay. It's still just an expression of God, God helping himself. It's okay if it feels as if there is a real you who's helping somebody. That's not wrong or right. It's just what's happening. It's just God expressing as that. Even when an expression seems to be disgusting, even when an expression seems to be very bad in that apparent character or apparent any character, that's also an expression of this unconditional love already. There are no conditions. Everything is accepted as it is without judgment. There's no judgment in love, in this unconditional love. Even what seems to be an apparent judgment that seems to arise as a result of the action or what seems to be a bad action taken, that's judgment. Apparent judgment is not judged because there is just only unconditional love expressing as everything. So there's no death already. There's no one to die. Death is just a story. A loved one who has passed on, that's there's no such thing as death. Life can never be destroyed. Life has never been born, therefore it never dies. That expression continues because everything is God. God is deathless. God is bedless. God is timeless. God is indestructible. God is not a victim. God is not a thing. And there's no one to find him because there's only him. There's no one to find this because there's only this. You can call this whatever, it doesn't really mind because it's the only thingless thing there is. There's nothing else. So it's not separate. It's it's the totality already. Even when there's an insult coming up, it doesn't really matter. This doesn't mind because it's everything already. It's whole and complete. It's just it talking to itself, insulting itself, feeling sorry for itself, angry at itself. It's all there is. So there's no judgment. There's nobody to be judged, and there's no one to judge. There's just this totality, wholeness, divinity, no separation. Even Christ, when he was here, he was teaching that there is no separation from God. There's no one who's separate from God. There's nothing separate from God. Everything is one, undivided, is already complete. It's already finished. No steps, no path. Just this already timelessness, boundlessness, boundless aliveness, spirits, the Holy Spirits already. You can't find the Holy Spirit because you are the Holy Spirit. So it's okay. All beings are already okay because what seems to be beings is just already God that is undivided, that is whole and complete, that is lacking nothing, that is missing nothing. So whatever that it may seem to be happening, it's just these are just stories appearing in this, appearing in this playing. It is seen as well that what seems to be people moving around, they are really going nowhere. Just like the waves in the ocean, the waves may seem to be going somewhere, and they may seem to be um, real waves, but it's still the ocean. So there are people going around, moving around with names, different names. It seems as if they are people, they are real people, but it's just this God appearing to move. But God never moves. They're never really moving. It's just this God dancing. The guy driving a truck loaded with grocery in the streets, the bird flying in the air, the pilots, somebody driving a boat. It's just God. There's no separation. There's no real somebody who's there. There's no real judge who's driving a truck. It's God. Everything is God. There's no separation. So if the body drops, nobody dies because in the first place there was nobody there. It was just an expression of God. So God remains as it is. It's like nothing happened. So this is beautiful. And this can be enjoyed as well when it is seen that it's just a play. It's not that there's a real seer who can actually see that this is a play and claim to have seen. It's just there can be a recognition or a resonance that it's actually this recognizing that there's just itself. There's never been anything else separate from itself. So really, there's nothing to talk about when it is seen that it's just this. Words, you know, questions don't arise. There's just that uh, bliss, joy, peace arising from nothing for nobody. It's already here. It's not somewhere out there. In the story, it may seem to be postponed. That something saying, I won't be happy until I get um, that contract. That contract is signed. Until I buy that car, I won't be happy. It may seem to be postponed, but it's always there. Don't need to get anything to feel peace, joy, and happiness. It's your true nature. It's what you really are. Yet in the story, it may appear to be suppressed, but yet that is just a story, which is also this, which can never really be suppressed because it's boundless. It's everything already, yet it's nothing. So this is beautiful for nobody. So to say there's somebody, there's nobody, it doesn't really touch this. To say there are people, there are no people, it doesn't change this. Because this as it is already worthless. And that which seems to say there are people and there are no people is still that which is already worthless. Is still that which is already undivided, which is whole and complete. So it doesn't matter when there is argument, there is misunderstanding, uh, there's somebody who's not happy or happy, because it's still an expression of this. There's really nobody who's not happy or happy here. There's just this, the totality, the timelessness. You can call it a you, doesn't matter. You or this or God, words don't matter to this. Somebody may argue that, but how can you say it's you? When you say it's you, it seems as if you are talking to somebody, you are helping somebody. That's already this too. So it doesn't matter. To say it's you or somebody not happy because uh, we are talking about the you or this or God, spirit, it doesn't change this. This is already. So this can talk about anything. It doesn't really matter. There is never a me to get this. There is never a you to find this, because there is only this. Yet you are this. So this is empty and full at the same time. This isn't just blank space, it's aliveness. This is aliveness, also expressing as the apparent objects. So every or what seems to be an object, it's alive. All objects are alive, apparent objects. Because of this aliveness, everything seems to be new. It's always new because there is timelessness. There's no time. To say something is old, that's just a story. To think that there is time, there is real time, it's just a dream. So this, as it is not Tuesday. This is not 2024 or December. This is nothing. And this isn't going anywhere already. Yet what seems to be months, different months, years, and time, that has to do with the story. Is also that as it is also that which is nothing, which is timeless, also expressing as time, as days, months, years. So there's no separation. Separation is dot-based. It's just a thought also appearing from nothing. So this is all there is. And this never ends because it never began. The story may seem to end, but this never ends. And the story is just an appearance in this. And what seems to be the me is just an appearance in this. There isn't a real me, just a thought constructs. The whole entire story of your life is imaginary. And the you who seems to have life is imaginary. It's just an imagination. Unreal. So there's nothing to collapse. There's nothing to fall away. When it seems as if there's something collapsing, that's illusory. That's an illusion. Because there isn't anything sticking out on its own. There is no separation. All there is boundless energy, which expresses as apparent things, different things, but itself is just one. It's undivided. It's already whole and complete. There's nothing missing. There's nothing lacking. There's really no efforts to be made. Because this is already here as everything. It's already here without time. It's already here without any movement. Even what seems to be thoughts saying, oh, I wish I could find this. I wish I could get this. Somehow they are already late. In a sense that this is always here. This is already everything, even appearing as thoughts saying, I wish I could find this. So there is never not this. So there's no world. There's no real world. What seems to be the world is just the totality. This. And this can never be seen by somebody. And this can never be achieved. This isn't an achievement. This can never be grasped. And this can never be known. Because there's only this. So the searching, the looking, analyzing, the mind going up and down, looking for this, is already this. So there's nothing looking. There's no mind that is looking already. There's no one searching already. There's no one getting closer already or getting further away. There's nowhere to get to already. Yet getting somewhere is already this. Getting somewhere is just a story, which is already the totality expressing as a story. Yeah, yeah, that's what's coming up.
There's been a sinking in lately. Sinking in the apparent being, that there's no apparent being. You know, feeling feeling beyond the illusory boundaries of the body, and more as a matter of course, noticing. Seeing from the perspective of connection. Seeing what happens here as patterns playing out, not mine, in any meaningful way.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah,
Missing. Go ahead.
yeah. It's just this darkness projecting itself as what seems to be the lights, the apparent uh, souls, then projecting themselves to be people living in these constructs. But all of that is still the same, still this darkness. It's one. projecting itself as different things, experiencing being in a world, forgetting, playing the game of remembering and forgetting. But it's still just this one undivided totality, nothing.
Nisargadatta Maharaj talks about yoga and meditation and spiritual things in a way that he talks about, the reason that there's a tradition of having these very difficult um, exercises to try to get people to reach enlightenment or whatever is to completely exhaust them until they give up on the idea that you can get to some sort of enlightened state through effort.
Yeah.
And only then when they're completely dejected on the concept that they'll be able to get there through effort.
Yeah.
Will there be any sort of putting things down and recognizing what was there already, I guess. It's the thought.
Yeah, they can even be a recognition that even the one who's saying those things, when they is that recognition, it is recognized that even the one who's saying those things doesn't really exist. So it's beautiful. Initially, there may seem to be a real teacher teaching a student, but when the recognition seems to happen, then it is recognized that there wasn't any teacher and then there's no student. There's just it might be expressed as the student saying, "Oh, you don't exist," ah, saying to a teacher, "You never existed." It's very funny. In the same way, even right now, and you don't exist, I don't exist. There's just existence, this which isn't separate already. It's just one. Yet this engagement, these talks may seem to be expressed in this totality, and it's beautiful. It's not wrong or right, and it's enjoyed as well here.
Okay, and Kosi, time for me to start my day.
Okay.
Or not. Talk to you next week.
Have a good one.
Wait a second. Next week is yeah, I can do it next week. I'll be off. I'll probably do it from home. Okay,
Okay.
take care. Is it all right, Christmas Eve for you next week?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay,
It's fine. Yeah, I'll be home as well.
all right. Take care.
You're welcome.